What's up, guys? As promised, just came in the building to do a Summerslam preview for tomorrow night. It is a pay-per-view I'm going to order because I'm quite curious about the way two matches will go. To be honest, the card in terms of the feuds have been well built for this year's SummerSlam, so I'm actually quite looking forward to the pay-per-view. Maybe I'm underselling it a little bit. I'm most interested in two matches. You can probably guess what those two matches are. Um, but you know, the card as a whole, I can't complain. It's a good card. Some strange decisions, and this is being one of them. Dean Ambrose versus Rob Van Dam for the US Championship. I understand the theory. The theory being that if you show a match potentially as, I won't say it's good because I'm not a Rob Van Dam guy, but he has his fan base. Dean Ambrose has his fan base. I don't know, maybe you're just trying to get people to kind of give you a little taste of a good match, and you're kind of getting them to buy the pay-per-view. But this is a pay-per-view quality match. Like I said, I'm not an RVD guy. I do like Dean Ambrose. But surely this makes the card. If anything doesn't make the card, it's this Dolph Ziggler Kaitlyn one, which I'll talk about later. But surely that makes the card. Fuck me. Oh yeah. You know, they did a battle royal on Monday. RVD won that. It's ironic that they dedicated so much of the show hyping that battle royal up, only for the title shot contender to get a shot on the preview show. Oh, whatever. Should be good though. I expect Ambrose to retain, probably for a feud to continue. There just doesn't seem to be much point taking the strap off Ambrose. But I think they could potentially develop a good little feud here. So I'd be quite interested to see that. I think RVD's role at this point is kind of like a Christian role, it's kind of like a Kane role, and Jericho, whenever he shows up, is to put younger talents over. And this is the example of that here, which goes against everything that Rob Van Dam believes in, because he does have the name No Job Rob for a reason. But let's be honest, that's his role these days. The guy's like mid-40s these days, so you know, I expect Ambrose to retain that one. Natalya versus Brie Bella. They are going. A lot of this is going off the show hype. Fair enough. You know, I've said it before. I say it again. I like the show. I do. I'm sorry, I do. I like the show. More, not necessarily because I'm that interested in the divas, but I like the behind-the-scenes nature of the show. Like, a lot of it, I imagine, is very much scripted. You can't help but think that some of it must be real. Not necessarily the storylines, but the way that they go backstage and the sort of relationships people have with people backstage. I'm interested in things like that. So, I like the show. So, the match makes sense. Natalya's point in the company is pretty much to put talents over. So I see Brie winning this one. I couldn't care less really. Sorry, Daniel B. I know that is your, I know that's your girl, but I can't. I don't care. But it is, at least I can understand the show is creating a lot of interest for the divas. That's a good thing. I just don't care about this match, but that's a good thing. It's a good thing. And Dolph Ziggler versus Kaitlyn. Sorry, Dolph Ziggler and Kaitlyn versus Big E and AJ. Just a waste of Dolph's talents here. Clearly, I don't know, maybe the plan originally was to have these two as separate feuds because they had been building as separate feuds. And then all of a sudden, I'm guessing WWE just thought, well, fuck it, I'm just going to plant these two motherfuckers together. when it was only a few months ago that Dolph Ziggler was taking a piss out of Kaitlyn, but now all of a sudden they're best of friends. I don't understand. Sometimes it's just got to be a little bit more realistic, you know. Um, I don't care who wins. I probably Ziggler will win because he put over Big E last time. Um, so I'm guessing Ziggler and Kaitlyn will win this, but I just don't. This is the match I least care about. I actually care about the Divas match more than I care about this match. I just don't care. And Damien Sandow versus Cody Rhodes, arguably the best, the the most well built feud, other than maybe Brock versus CM Punk. And even then, you could argue it might be even better built than that. I don't think it's getting the reaction it deserves because I think that they've played the storyline very well. This is the ultimate grudge match. Um, I don't know who'll win this. This one is a tough call. You can make a point that maybe Cody might win because WWE, for some reason, like building their Money in the Bank winners to be booked like shit until they win the title. So Cody might win this, and it would do a lot for his career, I think, because I suppose Sandow has his guaranteed main event spot, and maybe Cody might benefit more out of it. I think if Sandow wins, then he moves on with the briefcase. What happens to Cody then? But if Cody wins, all of a sudden you kind of, because Sandow's here at the moment while Cody's here, you kind of bring Cody up there as well. And you can do a lot with that, particularly with other events coming up. You can do a lot with that. And I think Cody should have been a main event guy from 2011. I think they're 2 years behind with this bullshit, because he should have won Money in the Bank 2 years ago, when he was red hot as a heel. But I think if you're going to consolidate his babyface turn, maybe you can make an argument that Sandow could win. I just don't see there being any need for Sandow to face him again if he wins. But if Cody Rhodes wins, and I don't normally like the idea of putting a babyface over, but hear me out. If Cody Rhodes does win, you just elevate him just a little bit higher. Let me let that marinate for a second. I'm going to pick Cody to win it, and I wouldn't be mad if he does win it. And in a match I'm quite intrigued about, Kane versus Bray Wyatt in a Inferno match. Sorry, Ring of Fire, whatever the fuck it's called. I'm guessing this is going to be a some sort of signature victory for the Wyatts, because anyone who doesn't know this by now, WWE is making a sequel of See No Evil. It's one of their very few successful films that they've made. I've not seen the first one still, but I'm told that the first one for a WWE film wasn't that bad. And Kane is kind of doing his role of Jacob Goodnight. So, I'm. So this could be the last time we do see Kane for a little while. So I'm guessing they're going to do something pretty horrific to Kane. So for that reason, I'm tuning into this one just to see how they write Kane off for a little while. So yeah, I picked Bray Wyatt to win this. It's his first pay-per-view match. They're not going to have him lose. They need to get Bray Wyatt over. They just have to. And in order to do that, he needs to be beating people like Kane. He absolutely has to be beating people like Kane. Then in the kind of a who gives a shit world championship match, Daria versus Christian for the World Heavyweight Championship. I'm not a big fan of either guy. I've never bought into Daria particularly as a heel. I'm damn sure they buy into him as a babyface. Um, I just the most interesting thing for me about Del Rio was the cards he brought out, being a cast person. Now it's stopped doing that. I genuinely have no interest in him whatsoever. And then Christian has been a guy who I always thought was played a very good budget comedic version of Kurt Angle, not in the wrestling, in the sense that he always did that kind of heel comedy role backstage with The Rock, kind of around that 2002, 2003 period, really, really well. I thought he was really, really well in that role. He did really, really well in that role. Didn't buy into him in TNA. I know they really pushed him to the moon in TNA. I didn't buy him in TNA. He's come back. I'm just not a Christian guy. I'm not particularly an Edge guy, but I can see why they pushed Edge ahead of Christian. Even though Christian, arguably, maybe slightly more technically better than Edge in the ring. Arguably. But I've never been a Christian guy at all. Um, but you know, I'm wondering what they may do here. I think that they may give Christian the strap because I'm sorry, no one gives a shit about Alberto Del Rio as a champion. No one, just no one. I'm sorry, he might be. He's not bad in the ring. He's not particularly bad in the ring. I just don't find him interesting in any particular way. I don't buy into him. I don't think his mic skills are strong enough. I don't think he's charismatic enough. I just don't buy into him. At least Christian has some somewhat decent mic skills. I always cringe when Alberto starts talking. He's cringeworthy. He may drop the strap to Christian. Even if then Christian drops the strap to someone else, he'll be a transitional champion. Don't get it twisted. Mark my words, there could be a title change here. I'm going to go for Christian. Possibly. I just don't see what you do with Alberto if he wins. So you might as well put it on Christian and give him a decent month-long, 2-month-long title run. I think it'll be interesting. Let's see where you go with it. So I'll pick Christian to win that. That's controversial. I'll pick Christian to go ahead and win that. And then CM Punk, Brock Lesnar. One of the two reasons I'm ordering this match. When Lesnar can be bothered, he can have a really good wrestling match. See Triple H Lesnar. I actually watched that match at last year's SummerSlam. Triple H Lesnar. See any one of the matches that Lesnar had with Kurt Angle back in the day. You know, when he wants to wrestle and have a decent match with someone who can understand the pacing of the match well, he can have a very good match. CM Punk is that guy. CM Punk will understand how to pace the match well. If Brock turns it into some stupid UFC type of brawl, then the match is going to be shit. It's going to look sloppy and it's going to look shit. Because it's such a mismatch in terms of size, it has to be a wrestling match. Anything else will just be ridiculous. It has to be a wrestling match. So, I'm hoping that this will be a good match. I don't know who to pick here because you could argue who to pick. You could argue either way, really. Part of me thinks, well, Brock Lesnar should win. Because I think if you give Brock another loss, he starts to lose credibility. He loses the first match every time he faces someone. He just starts to lose credibility to me. Although he did beat Triple H last year, I just think he needs to continue to look dangerous. And I don't think the loss will particularly hurt CM Punk. So I'm actually going to go for Brock. I think it's going to be a good match. I think this will be the day that Punk does get Heyman, give him a GTS or some shit. But I think ultimately, I think Brock will walk out the winner. I think he'll win this match. Possibly, maybe carrying on till next month. I've got a few. I don't know how. The way I noticed that they're booking Brock these days is to wrestle in the main, in the big pay-per-views, because he's on a part-time schedule. So possibly it might extend. Like the match might carry on to the next pay-per-view. Then CM Punk wins and then Brock fucks off. I don't know. I don't know how it will go, but I'm going to pick Brock to win this one. And then in the other match, the other reason I'm ordering this pay-per-view is John Cena versus Daniel Bryan. My only concern is Randy Orton. The only thing I'm hopeful for is usually when somebody cashes it in, they don't normally warn you that they're going to cash it in. And all he's been doing is warning both of them that he's going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I'm hoping that Bryan will win this. Apparently John Cena is getting some elbow surgery, because I have to say his elbow looks horrible. It looks massive. And apparently getting some elbow surgery. They could be out for a couple of months. So the plan is for him to drop the strap. What I'm hoping they don't fucking do is drop the strap to Bryan, and then they bring Randy Orton's ass out and Orton RKO's him. But the plan is for Cena to drop the strap. To who he drops it to is another question. I'm going to go for Bryan to win this, and I'm going to go for Randy Orton not to cash it in on Bryan, at least tonight. But I have this horrible feeling that they could do it on Raw the next night. So stay tuned. I've made that call. Alright, sorry about how long this video was. I rambled on. I never make plans for these videos. I always talk from the heart. So sometimes, whenever you see me talking, it's because I'm thinking. So apologies for that. But I hope you like this video. Comment down below. Like this video. Please do subscribe. Trying to do as many videos for you guys as I can. Take care. Peace. Oh, and stay tuned. You will get more videos from me this weekend. Take care.